Thank you, Ben. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this, the launch of the general election campaign. July the 4th is the date to look forward to. But goodness me, yesterday, I mean seriously, we had the Prime Minister drenched in rain. His voice drowned out by the boogie blaster of the Ramona-in-Chief, no less. You couldn't make it up. But it typifies the utter incompetence and uselessness of this Conservative government. Now, everyone thought he was going to go for October, November. I've won a few bets, by the way. The truth is that he's bottled it. He's cut and run. Why? Because he was absolutely terrified, as Ben quite rightly alluded to the fact that Reform UK is going up and up in the polls with our common sense policies to save Britain, whilst the Tories have been sinking in the polls. And he was terrified as to where this may end up. And I'm absolutely delighted during this election campaign that my good friend Nigel Farage will be helping out significantly in campaigning to drive home the message of Reform UK and how we can save Britain. And I can also confirm, with great excitement, that we will be standing in 630 seats across the whole of England, Scotland and Wales. No ifs, no buts. And personally, I will be standing in the constituency of Boston and Skegness. And contrary to what all the commentators say, likes of my good friend Lee Anderson, myself, we are going to win seats. We are going to win seats. So what's our message? Well, this great country of ours, this incredible United Kingdom of England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland, so much potential, so much opportunity, and yet, sadly, so badly run, so badly led, so badly governed. Apparently, we've got all the experts in the Treasury, in the OBR, in the Bank of England, all these experts. Well, if they're so expert, and I just want you to think about the number 70, if they're so expert, how come we've ended up with the highest taxes for 70 years? The highest government spending, much of it wasted, with the worst public sector outcomes for 70 years. The highest waiting lists since records began some 70 years ago. The highest national debt for some 70 years. The lowest growth decade for 70 years. You're getting the picture. And the longest recession per person for 70 years. Yes, per person is what matters. Do people feel better or worse off? And everybody feels worse off after 14 years of Tory failure. That's the result of incompetence and these experts, along with weak, feeble politicians who have broken Britain. And sadly, that failure of the establishment and the experts manifests itself in the great scandals that we hear about with depressing regularity. The maternity scandals, the post office scandal, and this week, the infected blood scandal. The establishment, civil servants, politicians, covering things up, lying, deceiving, misleading. It's an absolute outrage. And Prime Minister and Keir Starmer, it's not good enough just to apologise. Ordinary people are furious about what's happened. Talking of anger, I mean, we were promised, as the video and Anne talked about, that immigration numbers would come down. Now, let's be clear. Smart immigration is a fantastic thing, but you've got to be smart about it. No one voted for mass immigration, but the figures just released 2 hours ago confirm that for the second year running, we've now got mass immigration in the United Kingdom. A city the size of Birmingham arrived. Net, a city well bigger than the size of Manchester. Is this fair? Is it a coincidence that housing rents have risen by over 20% in just the last 2 years? House prices completely unaffordable, in particular for young people. Where's the fairness in that? We haven't built 300,000 homes in a single year for 60 years. And yet, just to accommodate the net migration, in 2023, we need to be building more than one home every 2 minutes. Over 300,000 homes. That's not including looking after our own British citizens, in particular young people, desperately trying to save to get on the housing ladder. Where is the fairness in that? The pressure on our healthcare system, ambulance delays, A&E delays, waiting lists at record levels. The pressure on the healthcare system is completely unsustainable and not helped by a huge increase in the population. I repeat, smart immigration is a great thing, but it is simply unfair for British people to essentially expect slower, worse outcomes on healthcare. It is simply unfair. It's also unfair, in particular again, for young people, that their wages should be depressed and undercut because of a huge increase in the supply of labour. It's simply not fair. Now, the choice at this election for the British people is, do you want more of the same from the main two parties, or do you want change? Do you agree with me and us that actually this great nation of ours, we can do so much better, but to do so, we have to change course. We have to reform so many things. We have to reform our economy to make work pay, in particular, again, for young people. If you lift the tax threshold starting point to £20,000, young people benefit the most. We have to reform our healthcare system to get to zero waiting lists in 2 years. We're the only party with a clear, bold plan for healthcare reform. That's an ambition. Some might say it's unachievable. I disagree. It's doable. Zero waiting lists in 2 years. Most other Western nations don't have waiting lists. With mass immigration, we're adding unfair pressure onto our healthcare system. These are the changes and many, many more that I'll be talking about and will be talking about on the campaign trail. But the choice for everybody is, whether you vote Tory or whether you vote Labour, you will get the same form of socialism. You will get higher taxes, lower wages, a mass immigration that will make us all worse off, and our quality of life will diminish. If you want change, if you want lower taxes, if you want higher wages, then if you want faster healthcare, and if you want smart immigration, then the answer actually is to freeze immigration. And the only way you will do that, forget all the spin and the nonsense from the main two parties, we've heard it all before. Oh, I nearly forgot. The Prime Minister a few weeks ago promised to reduce immigration until he got a tap on the shoulder this week by the big man, big Lord Dave. He said, no, wee Rishi, you can't reduce the number of international visas. So you can't trust the Tories. And as we know, Labour wants more mass immigration. If you want change, folks, you've got to vote for it. On July the 4th, vote for change, vote for Reform UK. Thank you very much.